So Brad, everybody will want to know, how's your recovery going?
Yeah, it's coming on really well. I can see the finishing line. The light at the end of the tunnel, as they all say, is there. But it's been a long, obviously frustrating one as well, because like watching the boys is tough every weekend. But I'm being really well looked after by the physios and by all the staff, so it's coming on really well.
Just talk us through the injury and how it actually came about and what kind of injury it was you've been dealing with.
So the actual injury that I was caused was a tore my meniscus in my right knee, but just where the tear was, it was right on the attachment. So I met with a specialist and talking to the physios, they just advised to get an operation so it was fully healed, which takes a bit longer, but then hopefully it makes it stronger and I can get back and then stay back. So it was a tear in the meniscus. And it was a freak one actually. It was just like went to clear the ball, and then I think it was Joe and their striker just like collapsed on top of me. Whatever way I fell, I just felt like a wee pop and didn't feel right. And like it was against Dundee, and I tried to play on, but it just didn't feel right. And then had to call them off, unfortunately. And then there's just the scans showed the tear in just the attachment area of the meniscus.
And obviously the timeline that we were given initially was, you know, you'd be aiming to be back kind of early to mid-April. How's that timeline looking at the moment?
Yeah, I think that timeline's actually spot on. I've been running the last 2 weeks. I've really upped the running this week and last week, doing more sprint-based stuff, more short, sharp turns and kicking the ball, and it actually feels really good. I've had previous injuries in that knee, but everything seems to have been healed really well from the operation, and it's big thanks to them to help me so much. But yeah, it's coming on really well, and I think that timeline could be spot on. Fingers crossed anyway.
So how have the medical team been with you day to day and kind of week to week?
Well, some days I hate them, some days I love them, but no, they've been really good. They've looked after me since minute one. I've been straight in, a couple of days off after my operation just to lie around the house and relax, but been straight in, they've been straight on, hands on, and just helped me get the mobility back in the knee, and then just strengthen it back up to get me back on the pitch and to get that timeline spot on. So I couldn't thank them enough, but they've also worked me hard at the same time, and I don't think I want to see a watt bike ever again.
Obviously, you know, you've been a key part of the squad this season. There's never a good time to get an injury, but it must have been even more frustrating when you were playing week to week. It must have been even more frustrating getting the injury when you did.
Yeah, and I think the timing makes it even more frustrating. It was just at Christmas, and you could see the winter break coming, and just 1 or 2 games just beforehand. So it is frustrating, and as you said, there is no good time to get injured, and especially because I was playing so much and I'm playing quite decent as well. That it is frustrating, but it's been made better by watching the boys perform so well. Obviously pushing for top 6, pushing for Europe, and like seeing them play the way they are over recent weeks and seeing the fans behind them, it makes it a lot better, because once you're in Monday to Friday and round them, that you want them to be positive and help you push along, and it obviously helps motivate me that I want to come back into a winning side as well. So yeah, it's been big credit to the boys, because they've helped me massively as well. Like, they've been a great distraction from the injury and kept me positive the whole way through it.
I know you've had injuries before, but see, when you're told, you know, you're going to be out for 3 months regardless, how do you deal with that on an emotional level?
I think at the start it's the frustrating part. You just need to come to terms with it. And it was actually Kev, the kit man, I was having a conversation with this week, and he goes, "Oh, you've been really positive with the injury." But that's the thing, like at the start, yes, you're frustrated, you're angry, you don't want to be injured, but that's the thing, there's no point being negative with such a long-term injury, because it's not going to help the injury, it's not going to make it any better any sooner, so you might as well be positive, embrace the challenge of getting back, and that's, as footballers, we love a challenge, so that was my challenge, to kind of try and beat the timeline sort of and get back quicker, kind of make myself stronger before coming back. And the physios have been pushing me, but I've also been pushing myself to come back fitter, come back stronger, and hopefully help the team with the last final push of the last 6 games.
As you say, you'll be coming back just ahead of the post-split games. You must just be determined to make sure you're in the squad and in the team for these games.
Yeah, 100%, and that's the thing. I've had conversations with a gaffer, had conversations with the coaching staff, and that's the thing. I want to be in contention with the squad, but I guarantee you I'm not like first game back starting, because you can see how well the boys are playing, and that's the thing with me. Obviously I want to be playing, but like, I don't want to come straight back into the team, because that's maybe if they're playing bad or losing games, then I could come back in. But if I'm coming back onto the bench, and I'll be absolutely buzzing just to get that match day feeling back, and then if I'm in contention with the squad, then hopefully I can start featuring. But hopefully the boys can keep going and keep winning games and push as far up that table as possible.